What's up, guys? Anton here from Dropship Lifestyle, and in today's episode of Dropship Weekly, we are going to be talking about influencer marketing, what it is, how it works, and how to effectively use it. Now, the reason that this is the topic I wanted to cover in today's episode is because there was a discussion this week on one of our private Facebook communities where Jose, who's an awesome guy, he spoke at a retreat last year, but he posted a couple screenshots of just insane traffic numbers that he was getting because one of his influencers' posts started to get traction, right? It almost went viral. So because of that, he got a ton of traffic, a bunch of sales, and people were like, this is awesome. I want to learn more about it. So in this video, I'm going to cover the basics, and then I'm going to show you how to get more information on this topic if it's something that you want to use. Now, with that being said, let's just start here, okay? Yourstore.com. So if you're watching this, I'm assuming you already have a store. If you don't have a store yet, I'm assuming you're planning on building one. Now, to get people to your site, you're going to use a few different traffic sources, right? The most common one is search. So what I mean by that is just organic. Someone goes on Google, types in one of your product names, they can find you in Google, Bing, whatever. The next will be PLAs. And as I'm sure you are aware, this is one of our highest converting sources of traffic. That's Google product listing ads. The next is Facebook. Now, with Facebook ads, assuming you're targeting cold traffic, people that don't know who you are yet, this one is a little bit trickier to get working because they don't have intent. So let me just write here, no intent, meaning you're putting products, in front of people on their news feeds from a random brand, yours, saying, hey, here's my snowboard, whatever. And they're not searching for it. They might be interested in snowboards, but they're not searching for it. So it's harder to get them to convert. Whereas PLAs, obviously they have intent. So that is a very qualified lead. And same thing in search, in organic search results. If people are searching your brand name, product name, SKU numbers, they find you in Google or Bing, they go to your website. That's a really good lead. Now, let me add on what we're going to be talking about today. And I'll show you why I showed you this first. Because there's a few different ways to do this, and some of them work better than others. They all work pretty well, and they all serve a different purpose. But the next one is going to be influencers. Okay, now with influencer traffic, there will be intent some of the times. So I'm just going to do intent with a question mark because I'll explain how it works in a little bit, I guess. But sometimes you'll get people with intent, sometimes with not. If they do have intent and their traffic's coming from an influencer, you're almost guaranteed to get a sale. So that's a really cool thing about this. It's like the highest converting if it's a good influencer and the person clicking through has intent. But let me start by talking about who they are, right? Because you know what Google search results are, you know what Google shopping and Google product listing ads are, you know what Facebook ads look like, but what is it? Where is this? Who is this? So influencer traffic really could be literally anyone that has a following, okay? And that sounds super vague, but I'll give you a celebrity example, okay? Let's just say Michael Jordan, right? His Instagram account. People that follow him there probably like Michael Jordan, obviously, and they'll trust him if he says, hey guys, I just released this new sneaker. They're gonna wanna go buy it. Or if he said, hey guys, Spalding just made this new basketball. I'm dribbling around, it's awesome. People are gonna go buy it, even if he doesn't tell them to. Why? Because people look up to him, they follow him, they trust him. Another example could be literally, anyone in sports. So picture, a pro golfer that's out having a practice round, picks up a new driver, shows it to his iPhone, says, yeah, I just got this. I'm going to see how it hits. Hits the ball, 300 yards, and everyone goes to golfgalaxy.com and tries to buy it, right? So things like that. They're not typically, when you work with influencers, they're not really commercials. Typically the way this works best is when it's more natural. So that's the who of it. And let me, give you an example outside of sports, right? Let's say you're selling something. I'll give you a perfect example. Let's say you're selling something that goes along with barbecues and grilling, something that fits into that niche. A good influencer in that case could be a really good cook, right? Who wins barbecue competitions every year? Who is looked up to in that space? They are an influencer. Again, influencers can be brands, but they're typically personality driven. Usually there's a face because people trust people a lot more than brands. So typically when you're working with an influencer, it's going to be a person. And let's talk about then, where, right? Where they're talking about you and where they're putting out this content. Now, this is going to vary not even from niche to niche, but from influencer to influencer, because it's really dependent upon where they've built their following. So you're going to find people that have huge Instagram followings. You're going to find people that have Facebook. You're going to find people that have YouTube. You're going to find people that have Snapchat. You're going to have people that have blogs, podcasts, right? The thing with influencer marketing is that, I'll just write etc., because there's not just one place. It's not like there's one place where all these influencers hang out. It could be any of these, and it's dependent, again, on where that specific person built their following. Now, without getting into too much detail for the purpose of this video, some do serve themselves better than others. Like Insta, you're usually gonna find things like fitness and fashion. That works best there. YouTube is good for more technical things or things that do require more in-depth visuals. And Snapchat's usually good for like a younger generation. So, most people you will find overlap with, but again, the place that you're gonna want people talking about you is wherever they built their audience. Now, what are they gonna post, right? If you wanna go out and you wanna find influencers for, I don't know, your whiteboard store, right? Or your rolling, what do you call this, a flip chart, where are you gonna find influencers? Well, you're literally gonna go on these different channels and look for people that make videos that use them. These could be people, and let me do this here. I'll do the what. Right? So what are they posting? This could be reviews. So let's say there's someone that has a channel out there that literally reviews flip charts and whiteboards and everything like that. Okay, they can post a video reviewing yours and say, wow, I got this new thing, it's awesome. I got it from antonswhiteboardstore.com. That's perfect, right? That's an example. And I'll talk about like how you can get them to them and why they would do this in a little bit. But that's one example of how an influencer could send you traffic, actually reviewing it. Another thing is they could just use it. So this is what a lot of people do that have their own brands, and they'll literally just ship, everyone that has a following their product for free in hopes that it turns up on one of their Instagram stories or in hopes that it turns up on their YouTube channel. So they just want it to be featured. They want it to be seen. So I can't tell you how many times, I've done that. I've been watching a video on YouTube and I see someone maybe using a different computer mouse and I'm like, oh, what is that? And if they say it's a good one, I'll go look it up and I'll buy it, right? That they're using their influence, even if they don't know it, to have people buy products. Now, that's the example with no intent, right? The one if they're just like using it and, it's just in your face. Now, intent with influencer marketing, that's what I said would be a huge win. Those are the review type videos. So think about this, right? Let's say you use one of the classic examples from Dropship Lifestyle and you sell stand-up paddleboards. Now, let's say someone's looking to buy a stand-up paddleboard and they go on YouTube and they type in best stand-up paddleboard. Well, if there's a video that already ranks and there's someone talking about different paddleboard types, you could actually get them to post a link in their description to your store. Or you can get them to film a video with one of your best-selling paddleboards mentioning that they got it from you. So there's lots of different ways that you can have these things set up, usually in the review format. That way, again, you're mixing intent with influence. So if someone goes on YouTube and they type in, best stand-up paddleboard 2018, and they find the best stand-up paddleboard person there is, and he's using a paddleboard that your company sent him, he's gonna reference you, and those people, again, remember I said, they're gonna be super likely to convert. So that's a great way to do it. Again, the use case scenario is just, they have a video of them using it. So I'll go back to that barbecue example. The company that I'm friends with, they basically just sent a whole bunch of people their different barbecue products like grill gloves and different spatulas and things like this. And their products started getting featured in different videos, which sent them more traffic, which led to more buyers. Now, let me talk about why this would happen, right? Because obviously that sounds cool. You're finding people that already have followings and you're getting them to either review your products or you're getting them to use your products in their videos or in their blog posts or talk about them on their podcasts or just have them involved in their day-to-day life. But why would they do that? Okay, like why would anyone just really, try to promote your product? Now, there's different reasons, once again, and that's the thing with influencer marketing. It's not like a one-stop approach where it's like very straightforward because there's a lot of different ways to do this, but I'll go through the most common reasons why they would do this. Now, the first would be commissions. If you actually approached some of these people that have these YouTube channels, let's say, and said, hey, I want to have a deal with you where you can make videos on my products, and if people buy them, you'll earn 5%, 10%, whatever it is, but I'll just put /affiliate. In this scenario, you have an affiliate program that's open to influencers, okay? Makes sense, right? You have people that already have audiences recommending your stuff. They earn a commission when they send someone that buys. Easiest reason, most common setup. Another one would just be a straight money deal. So with that, a lot of these people you could pay per post. What I'll tell you is that if that's the case, like if you could pay them and they'll, mix you into their feed, those people usually are doing this with tons of different people just like you. So when they promote things, it's not as effective because you're one of many instead of, one of one. So because of that, these straight money deals, they do work, but it's a little bit, it's not as good as if you found someone who's never promoted anything else. So that's why the people that usually haven't promoted anything else, or the people that are more selective with who they promote, they have usually a better conversion rate. And because of that, they usually like commissions or affiliates. Or this one might scare you, but it does work. If you find, let's say, the perfect influencer, I'll go back to that grilling example. If you started a company that makes grills and you find the #1 grilling channel on YouTube has, 10 million subscribers and all of their videos get 1 million views, and I'm making this all up, but it's 2 guys that have been grilling, their whole lives and for the past 5 years on YouTube, and everyone loves them, okay? With that type of scenario, if they became an influencer for you, then they would typically get equity. Now this one you have to be extremely careful with because you're not going to just be giving anyone equity that says, yeah, I'll make a couple posts about you. This would be the type of deal that you do with someone that, again, is a leader in your industry. And if you're thinking like, well, why would they want to do that? If someone had 10 million subscribers on YouTube, why would they, want to promote my stuff in all their videos and have a link to my store in all of their descriptions? Why wouldn't they just start their own store, right? Well, a lot of times they don't even know how, okay? And it's not their business. If someone's a grill master, they're not thinking, hey, I want to start a dropshipping store. So that scenario can get you this type of deal where, again, they get equity. They don't have to do any work in your business. They just have to link to that store in all of their videos. And of course, they'd be referencing it in their different cooking videos. So hope that makes sense. It's a way that a lot of companies grow really quickly. If you think of companies like Onnit, if you know Onnit.com, they sell supplements. They sell all different types of workout, like kettlebells and steel maces and all this stuff. Well, Joe Rogan got equity in that company, and he's not, the business leader. He's not in their office every day at all, but he mentions it every day on his podcast. And because of that, they get a ton of traffic. They become a huge brand, and he did that for equity. So another option. Now, if you're just starting out and you're trying to find creative ways because you don't want to pay them, maybe you don't want to give them a commission, which you should, or you don't want to give them equity, some other things you could do is just offer them discounts or some type of free product. Now, this is going to work best for the smaller influencers. And what I mean by the smaller are people with less of a following, people that aren't used to getting huge paydays or equity in companies and things like that. And because of that, you can usually either offer them a smaller product or even just a massive discount. Like, hey, if you want a new paddleboard, here's a 50% off coupon. And yes, you'll probably take a little bit of a loss on that, but in exchange, you can get them to talk about it on their channel, which will bring you more value over time. So these are really the most, common ways to set up these influencer deals. Again, this one you have to be extremely careful with. It's not something you're just gonna throw around. And this one, again, straight money deals, that would be, I'll give you $100, make a video about my product. Again, while it's good, the companies that usually do that type of deal do it for a lot of people. So, just think about it that way. Their audience is more used to getting offers, so they're not going to be as receptive. Still could be worth it. Commissions or affiliates, yes, that works great. And for people with smaller audiences, typically free products or extremely heavy discounts can work. Now, if you're wondering where you're going to find all these people, it's going to be the same exact places where they have their audiences. So once again, you should know your industry. You should know your niche. So find the people, find the leaders. Again, these should be people, not brands. On Instagram, on Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, blogs, podcasts, etc. Find where they are, start reaching out to them, send them direct messages on whatever it is, on Instagram, hit them up on Twitter, start a conversation and see what type of deal you could work out with them to have them start talking about your stuff, whether they're reviewing it, whether they're just using it in videos. If they're a blogger, maybe they're writing a blog post about it. But the more people do this, not only are you going to get more traffic and get more sales, but a big thing that, that Jose spoke about at our retreat was the kind of unintended benefit of all this. the more people that are out there talking about you, the more links you're gonna have to your site. And because of that, the better search results you're gonna get. Google is gonna think of you as more of an authority because you have more people online talking about you and linking to you. Not just that, but now when people find you via your product listing ads and they go on Google and research your company to see what you're all about, and they find all these influencer posts about you, then it's more likely that they're gonna convert. So not only is it a great source of traffic that again can lead to more sales, it also just really lifts everything else and increases your organic results, so your organic traffic, it increases your conversion rate, it increases your trust. So really overall, it's a big win. I will say that if you're just starting a brand new store, like this is something definitely look into and make a plan for. Maybe start doing your research now. There are easier wins. So my advice to you, again, if you were brand new, would be, start to get a couple sales coming in, get your product listings ad set up, make sure everything's working on your store. And again, that's why I say this, because this is probably gonna cost you some money to lay out. And if you have, an influencer sign on as an affiliate and like your site's just not converting, then it's a waste of everyone's time and they're not gonna wanna do it anymore. So at first, focus on your own traffic that you control, get your site set up, get conversions, make sure it's working. And once all is well and you have a legitimate business, then it's time to start doing that outreach, getting set up with everyone, either getting them products or discounts, have them talk about you, increase all of your traffic, increase your conversions. And yeah, it's definitely worth it. Something I highly recommend focusing on in 2018. If you want more in-depth training on this, there is going to be some uploaded to the Dropship Blueprint next week. But for now, if you're a member of Dropship Lifestyle, highly recommend going to watch Jose's talk from our retreat in Mexico last year and Chad's talk on influencer marketing from our retreat last year. They're doing like 8 figures from influencer traffic from Chad's company, and Jose's is doing, really, really well too, as you'll see in the screenshots. But click those links under this video, go to the members area, watch those videos, take notes, and definitely incorporate influencer marketing to your marketing plan of 2018. Thank you, everybody, and I'll see you next week for Dropship Weekly.